And ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the final SWBL presentation of the captain's interviews. We are doing these captain interviews this year much different than we have done in the past. Usually the captains will just fill out a one-sheet piece of paper as a survey questionnaire, but this year we did it up big for season 19, and we have in-person interviews on Zoom, so to speak, and I am pleased to be joined by the newest SWBL franchise, first captain Eli Erickson. Eli, thank you for joining us today from California.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, and Luke Bakula, kind of like that co-captain, right-hand man, the veteran in this very young squad. Luke, thanks so much for being here as well.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And the Marlins being a brand new team last year, you guys came in, we'll kind of recap last year. Luke was the only player that had kind of stepped foot on the SWBL field, the Blur in St. Louis. And we have been wanting to get your group of friends, really, Luke, together to be a part of this league for a long time. It's an age bracket that we were hoping to tap into, and we're finally glad we've gotten it. You and Corey Pulley have played. You kind of have that same, the same friend group. So we're excited that we got to meet everybody else. And it has been so great to meet you guys. And Eli, we'll start with you, but what was it like kind of the first experience in the league? We'll get to the positives and the negatives of, the on-field play, but just off the field, like how was it getting that chance to be a part of the league that you guys maybe have wanted to be a part of for so long?
Well, it was exciting. I mean, Luke's been telling us the last few years that, hey, we're this close to getting a team. We're like, maybe it's going to happen this next year. And, it hadn't happened. And then obviously, Peter let me know that sounded like there's going to be a spot for us because of the odd COVID year.
Yeah.
And then getting that news, it was really exciting. We're really looking forward to the opportunity.
And COVID unfortunately hit the world, obviously, and it didn't stop in the wiffle world as well. And including our league had to be kind of changed over with many different teams and players and teams joining together. And it kind of worked out in your guys' favor. And you guys did so well just fitting into the league in general. And Luke, kind of talk about your guys on your team and talk about how your group operates, and you talk about each other and how seamlessly it seemed like the Marlins fit in. And ultimately, we can talk about this now too, but one of the biggest positives was winning franchise of the year in your first year, where you guys weren't even slated to be a part of the league, but winning such an important award for the beginning of your guys' careers for this team. Talk about what franchise of the year meant, and talk about the seamless joining of your guys to the league.
Well, I was just so excited to be able to be a part of, their team and bringing them into the league, because I think a huge part of the culture of the SWBL is just a bunch of really, really great guys, and I couldn't pick a better group to bring into the SWBL. But franchise of the year, we wanted to win something, and we figured that to make a statement, we had to win that franchise of the year to just make our name in the league to start. So,
and it was kind of, Eli, we texted back and forth, and it really was kind of like a 1-year contract to see like what was going to happen. We didn't know what the team makeup was going to be. And as the front office was voting on awards throughout the winter time, and we got to franchise of the year, and we were like, the only team really is the Marlins. Like, that's like the team that we wanted to give it to. And you can't not invite them back, after they win franchise of the year. So, obviously, right as we announced that, at the same time, we announced that you guys would be a mainstay in our league. And let's talk about, last year, Eli, and the negative aspect of it, which you guys were the 6th team in SWBL history to go 0-10. And, there's been a lot of flack, lately on, social media and things like, and every single one of these captain interviews, you guys have been getting, downtrodden. And you kind of have to understand that that's why the front office and the captains ranked you guys last in the preseason power rankings. But going 0-10 last year, Eli, was it expected? You have those growing pains as brand new rookie team pretty much, except for Luke. And, Luke had some, at the beginning struggled offensively and then turned it on the last second half. But, talk about how, you were really looking for that first win, but 0-10, does that make you hungrier this year? Or, was it something that humbled you guys this year? Talk about the offseason talk after the season was over.
Yeah, well, 0-10 wasn't expected. We knew it was going to be tough. We weren't expecting to win the league our first year. If there was a year to go winless, I guess having a COVID year where there's, at most maybe 20 people there.
Sure. Yeah.
We'd pick that versus a normal year where there could be, 100 people there at one time. So getting a little warm-up season was nice. We expect to be better this year. Again, we don't expect to go 10-0, of course. Corey being mostly new to the league and, only playing in 10 games last year, of course. But we expect to be a lot better. There's just a lot of experience. And, getting that first W is tough. No one wants to be the first team to lose. And, for guys in the league who care about stats, they want to pitch against, the better pitchers pitch against us for shutouts. And they're better hitters to play against us, hit some bombs off us versus, maybe saving their lesser pitchers because they still think they can beat us. So there's definitely going to be some hurdles to get that first W. And I think after we get that one, we may be able to get a couple more this year.
Yeah. And, you guys can kind of fly under the radar really when it comes to that. And who knows, the opposite side of the spectrum, I know people are getting their strategies ready to go. And like you said, it could be somebody could want to pitch their ace against you because they don't want to be the first team to lose. Or like you said, they could pitch a lesser pitcher, save an arm, save some innings, and maybe try to sneak a win out with somebody less, and you guys can take advantage. Let's talk about your roster too, guys. And you've assembled the same exact roster, except for one key difference. You've drafted your buddy Corey Pulley. And Corey has played in our league before. He's played in 2 games only in his career. He played with the Yankees a few years back as a fill-in player when they needed somebody for a day. And he did okay. Wasn't Rookie of the Year eligible, so he is Rookie of the Year eligible this year. And he will be kind of your guy that's going for that award. And he's gotten some recognition so far. And we are excited to have him back at the Blur. Luke, talk about Corey and what he's going to bring to this team.
I think, Eli and I have talked about it a lot, kind of like how we're going to go about each game. And it's whoever's playing the best is going to play, right? But we think Corey's going to be one of those guys that comes in and really figures out, how he's going to be able to, hit the ball or field the ball. I just think that he's like you said, you only played a couple games, so our team still doesn't have that experience that we need. But Corey's just another super athletic individual that's gonna be a huge benefit to our lineup. So
yeah, you're seeing a lot of teams that are actually growing in roster sizes and are utilizing players in different utility roles, in fielding roles, and different things. So it's cool to see kind of the league evolving into that. There's only one team this year that only has 4 people, when back in the day it used to be everybody only had 4. But nowadays people have 6, 7, 8 people on a roster, and you kind of fill in where it's needed. And I think you guys have the right idea going into the season and talking about it. Some people just go in blind and say, here's the same thing we always do, and it could hurt them. But especially for you guys needing to kind of get that strategy behind yourselves to get that first win. And Eli, break down your guys' thoughts on pitching rotation, lineup for first game for opening day. What are you guys going to be going into? I know you guys had Luke pitching, yourself, Josh, Trent, all getting a chance at pitching for your team. In the field, you kind of were trying things out in different ways, and your hitting lineup was always different depending on what got hot. But what are you guys going to start at coming up this year, Eli, when it comes to like game 1, or what's going to be in the mindset on the depth chart?
Yeah, so, Luke's proven, obviously the first few games last year, he started off a bit slow, but, those last handful of games, he proved that he's our best player, especially at the plate. So Luke will be batting every game and in the field in some capacity every game. From there, we're not expecting Sam to pitch again, and we're not expecting Corey to pitch. And really, I'm not expecting them to pitch either. We're expecting Trent and Josh to be primary pitchers. As you guys saw on Twitter for that home plate that Trent built, he's been getting a lot of work in down in Soulard. He's talking a big game. Obviously, I haven't been able to see him pitch, but he's really excited for that. But I think between Josh, Trent, and Luke, those will be our main pitchers. In the field will be, some sort of combination. Again, like if Luke's not pitching, he's going to be out there. But I think Sam did a great job in the field last year. obviously Josh hurt his back the day before the tournament last year, so he didn't play much, but I would expect him to be a good fielder, and then me maybe to work in there a little bit. And then I think in terms of hitting, I think Corey will be a good hitter and will most of the time. And I think, of course, Luke and myself and probably Sam. So, if I had to guess, that first lineup will probably start Trent on the mound, with Luke and Sam in the field, and then Corey and I batting.
Yeah.
But, I haven't talked to everybody yet. We're going to all get together at some point to really kind of break down what we think is best. But that's –
you guys remind me, and this is going to be a compliment to you guys, but you kind of remind me of the current Chicago White Sox. You have Luis Robert, and you have, Yoan Moncada, and you have all these young guys on this team. And Sam Rudnick was second in the Rookie of the Year last year. He led your team in batting average. And I wrote a list of some guys that he was higher than in batting average. Not only all of your team, including Luke, who is a proven veteran, but Luke's brother, Sam Bakula, had a higher batting average had a higher batting average by 2 points than the actual Rookie of the Year, Cole Layton. Had higher than Brian Kenny, Kevin Pulley, Paul Castellano, and Jimmy Nelson. Those are big names that he had better batting average than. And Sam Rudnick surprised a lot of people. And also, Eli, yourself, you proved that you are definitely somebody that in the future will be reckoned with. And that's something that Peter, I know, mentioned, and Luke as well, about how athletic you are. And bringing you guys back for a second year. I'm excited to see how your sophomore season goes. And I think those four as your starting lineup can do some damage. And I'm really excited. And I know the rest of the league is excited to see what you guys can do this year. I love that Trent is so involved and invested in the league right now. Not only is STL Cycle Saloon our newest sponsor of the SWBL, the STL Cycle Saloon playoffs. So they will be on the big bracket. They will have an exciting time in the playoffs. All the graphics will be from them. So we're excited to have them aboard. And Trent obviously posted the picture of making that bullpen. So it's going to be an exciting year. And I may have known about the Josh injury from last year, but it makes a lot of sense why he didn't play as much this year. So at full strength, it'll be really cool to see what you guys can do. And Luke, I'll start with you, but I know you and Eli have been talking, but what's the kind of the team focus going into season 19? What's your guys' angle? You went 0-10. Is it just purely to get that win no matter what? Or is there some component of the game that you guys are focusing on?
I think we're going to do whatever it takes to get that first win, to kind of break the seal. Whether it's subbing guys in and out or, talking smack and trying to get in the other team's head, whatever it is, we're going to do what we can to get that first win. But I think really it's what works the best for our team. What rotation in the lineup, who's pitching, who's out in the field, where are they playing in the field, really kind of breaking it down to science and figuring out, how are the Marlins going to get the most runs across the board, and how are we going to keep the most runs off the board?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a huge part of what's going to get us wins this year.
What can you guys say? And Eli, let's talk about this, but what do you want to say to all those Marlin haters out there? What do you want to say to this league that is just giving you guys, there's many captain interviews, and you guys have probably heard it. One of the questions in the rapid fire round is there going to be a team that's 0-10? And I would say more than 50% of the people say yes. And some of them even name you guys. I didn't even ask for a name of a team, but they just give it to you. So, does it fuel your guys' fire? Or does it make you angry? That's come on, it's our first year. What's your guys' reaction to all that, Eli?
We're like the little brother. We're easy to pick on, take advantage to. I'm not surprised some people expect us to go winless again, but I would be very surprised if we go 0-10. I will. I wanted to said that last year, but this year I am. It definitely adds a little bit extra motivation for us to get that first W, and I think a few would follow once we get that one.
As the commissioner of this league for the past 18 years and going into the 19th year, one of my ultimate goals every single year is to never have a 10-0 team and never have an 0-10 team. And I want parity in this league. I want there to be that competition. And last year, even though you guys went 0-10, it was in my opinion, the most competitive year we've ever had for the SWBL. And it showed with the Yankees not making playoffs and the Expos winning the championship. They were one of those 6 teams that went 0-10. And just the year prior to their championship, they went 1-9. Luke, does that have they changed the game a little bit? Does that kind of give hope to all these other teams that either haven't made playoffs or haven't won a championship that truly anybody can win this league?
Yeah. And I think that's the greatest part about the SWBL is, anybody can go out there and win the championship. It's all about who's having the best season. And it's all about who gets hot at the end of the season, right? It's kind of like, the NBA and sometimes the NFL, it's just, you got those same, couple of teams that are always making it to the playoffs, always winning. And that's one of the reasons why I love the MLB so much, is because it doesn't matter if you have a good team or a bad team. If you're not having a good year, you're not going to make it. So, really, I love that part. Love that part about the league, and I think the Marlins are going to be up there competing with everybody else.
Since 2016, there actually has been a different team that has won the championship since 2016. That includes the Phillies changing over to the Twins, but that technically is a completely different team. So since 2016, we have had a brand new champion every year. So if that continues, there's not many teams that can be the next one to hold up the cup. So, Eli, let's move on to something different. I got a little game for you that I want you to take lightheartedly, and I want you to not worry about what your players think when they watch this. You can be as cutthroat or as nice as you want to be. You cannot say yourself, and you cannot say Luke, since you're both on this call. So you have Corey and Josh and Trent and Sam. So 4 people, and you got to have 3 spots to put them. One person out of that 4, you have to bench. One person out of that 4, you have to trade. And the other person is going to be your person that you would start in whatever capacity you want. It could be pitching, hitting, fielding, but you're going to start that person out of those 4 no matter what. You got to bench one, you got to trade one. As an example, when my brother did this game for the Royals, he not only started me, but he also traded me right before the playoffs so that he could get somebody else to actually win a game in the playoffs for him on the mound instead of me continuing to lose. So what are you going to say for a start, bench, and trade for those 4 guys?
All right. I think I would I'd trade Trent because I think he would add a lot of sense of humor to any team he'd go to. I think everyone, at least at this point, knows who he is. If no one else on our team, everyone knows him. I would start with Sam. Like you mentioned, he had a great year last year. I think, people were surprised more so because they didn't know who he was. A good amount knew who I was. Everyone knew who Luke was. So if we had done really well, it wouldn't have been super surprising. But because no one knew who Sam was, he kind of went under the radar. And at that point, I'd probably bench Corey. Again, just only having 2 games of experience, and that was a handful of years ago. I'd probably
kind of like new guy hazing. You have to bench the guy. Make him make his dues first. I like it. No, thanks so much. It's always hard to put the captains on the spot there for that one. But what you said about Sam, I see Sam as kind of developing into a similar player as Keaton Adams on the Astros. And Keaton is he was an all-star this past year. And he has every single season continued to get better. And I see Sam kind of in that same role as an impact player for a team and can change a game. And I'm really excited to see how Sam and yourself, Eli, progress in the next couple of years, because it's going to be you guys are going to be an exciting up and coming team to watch. Let's go back to you, Luke, for this next question. And you guys are in the Ketting Eye Center division.
Yeah.
When I did the division draw, and you guys probably watched after the fact, or watch the division draw and see who you guys are going to go up against for 2 games for each of those opponents in your division. But it seemed like every division played out like the people wanted it. It was like every single storyline you could find. It was like here you go. It's in your face. Season 19 coming at you. You have the Cardinal Blinds division with the Royals and the Twins, who were pre-ranked to be 1 and 2, not only in the division like that, but also overall first and second place. So two arguably on paper the best teams. And then you also have the Athletics, who the Royals and the Athletics last year joined together, and now they're apart in the same division. Then you have the Glendale Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram division, who has the Expos, defending champs. The Rockies have never missed the playoffs before. And the Astros, probably the best team in this offseason. They did the most this offseason to improve, with John Callaway and David Olderman joining them. And then we get to your division. And your division has not only family ties, but also a chance for you guys to maybe make a push in the Brewers, that are kind of in a different mode this year, coming off a second place finish, a different roster this year. And you have the Yankees, who didn't make the playoffs and went 4-6, under 500 for the first time without John Callaway. And guess what? John Callaway is an Astro. So this is your division, Luke. Break it down for us. Do you guys think, did you love this division draw? Like, you know, with obviously your brother being on the Yankees, Eli's connections with the Brewers, you know, talk about the division, break it down for us. And do you guys think you have a chance?
You can't write it any better than that, right? You know, you got us kind of coming off of a 0-10 season, obviously, and we're a little bit hurt about that. And you know, to have two teams that we really want to beat, you know, bad every single time we play them, to have them, you know, 4 out of our 10 games at least, you know, that's perfect for us, you know. And I don't want to say I don't like one team over the other, but I really love, you know, the Brewers over there. They got a great team. And the problem with both those teams, though, is they're good. They're really good. Yeah. And they got really good pitching. And unfortunately, you know, we struggled hitting last year. You know, myself, you know, I had a terrible start to the season. And then I kind of just, you know, I figured it out. I let the ball travel. I didn't go out and reach. And I think that's one thing that our team's going to have to keep in mind while we're facing the Brewers and the Yankees.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting division to watch. You know, every single game, every single divisional game, I feel like for anybody in any division is going to be super important. And it can make or break a season, you know, if you go 0-2 in a series against your division opponents. So it's going to be an exciting one. And yours is no question, some exciting storylines going into season 19. Eli, which game on your schedule do you think is the most important? As captain of this team, what do you look at as that game that you circle that's like, this is going to make or break our season? And obviously any game can do that. Last year, for an example, the Expos, I know you guys have probably heard this story before, but they were 3-4 heading into their last 3 games of the season against 3 of the best 4 teams currently playing. They had the Braves, the Rockies, and the Twins all to play. And they won against all 3 of those teams and then won 3 in a row in playoffs. So that Rockies game that they won kind of catapulted them into this victory stint that they had. But is there any game on your schedule, Eli, any opponent that you guys are really pinpointing that we want this team, we want this game?
You know, we're again, we mentioned already, we're really excited to get that first victory, but I think the 2 games that I'm looking forward to is that first game of the year. You know, we're the very first one, 4:30 on Friday. We're playing the Brewers, get to play against Peter and Andrew for the first time in a long time. So I think that one will be a sneaky one for us that we could really pick one up right away. Everyone's, you know, maybe getting off from work, you just kind of caught off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I think Sunday against the Expos, I'd really like to beat them this year. But, you know, I know they're a little scared of us, so they're going to probably pitch Jimmy. So we'll have tough to get some hits there, but we'll be ready.
I love both of those picks. I think you're right. That first game sets the tone. And, oh, man, can you imagine how this season would just get flipped on its head if you guys just came out and surprised the Brewers in game 1 and set that tone. And then also defeating the defending champs would also be kind of a notch on your belt for sure going into it too. But great answers all around. I want to thank Logex, one of our newest sponsors as well. That Logex is going to be sponsoring all of our media, including these podcasts as well. But Logex simplifies logistics when you need freight moved with reliability. And we want to thank Logex for being our newest partner. And that's logexinc.com to visit them. And one more thing I want to talk to you guys, and then we'll move on to this next segment that we have. But one of the other things that was a positive for you guys coming into it, and it's not so much you controlled this, but it's still kind of cool, is Kevin Pulley won for the second time the Team Logo of the Year award for the entire country. And that team logo was yours, the Marlins, and he did such a phenomenal job with that. Either of you can answer this, and obviously give credit to where it's due. Kevin is super amazing at what he does, and the amount of detail that he did just drawing your guys' logo and then taking that vision and putting it on, a digital, logo is just amazing to me. You guys had no time at all last year to have any prep for a season. It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I said you want a team, and you guys were all in, winning franchise of the year. Do you guys have plans to possibly take that logo and do something special with it? New uniforms, new something, or is it going to be maybe something you save for a future year like season 20? Luke, what's the plan? Eli, what's the plan?
Well, I know we have a lot of people who really want to go to this tournament who won't be able to this year.
Yeah.
Due to the limit. So we are definitely next year going to get a lot of gear with that logo on it.
Yeah.
We're definitely ready for that.
Yeah.
This year we will actually have jerseys because they'll show up from online, whatever, in time. They came the week after.
Okay.
Last year, fun fact. So we will all have jerseys, just kind of some used jerseys from eBay and
Sure.
stuff like that, from the old school Marlins. But next year we'll definitely be buying a lot of moving forward.
Well, that's a fun fact for sure. I didn't know that you guys had stuff ordered. It didn't come in time, but this year you'll have a little a little transition into season 20 for sure, which I know people are excited about, and actually is one of the final things we'll talk about in this podcast. Let's move on, guys. I have been doing this with everybody. It is a rapid fire round, and this rapid fire round is brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. What better way to cool you off on a rapid fire round than some great frozen custard from Andy's Frozen Custard? Andy, so thank you so much for being back as a sponsor. Andy's Frozen Custard will be sponsoring not only our summer league coming up at the end, this coming up summer at the end of June, but also they will be doing, player of the day. So every single day, somebody will get a free Andy's Concrete, whoever the player of the day was, and our all-stars will also be selected with Andy's Frozen Custard coupons as well. So thank you, Andy's Frozen Custard, for being a loyal sponsor back-to-back years. I'm going to ask you guys 10 rapid fire questions. Eli, you are always going to answer first, and Luke, you will answer right after Eli. I'm not going to mention your name. You're just going to boom, boom, answer. We want the viewers to kind of think in their heads, why did they say this? So no need for an explanation, just, one word, a couple words, quick phrase, whatever you want to do. If you want to explain something, I'm not going to stop you, but, let the viewers do the thinking for you. So why would you say these? That's what we want the viewers to know. First one's an easy one. I'm going to start out for you guys. You ready? Eli, we're starting with you always. What is the best freeze pop color?
Red.
Blue.
Dang. All right. Mine's green. So, all right. All right. Moving on. Who was the best Marlins player overall from your first season?
Blue.
Sam.
Who has the best SWBL rivalry? Now, this could be something you've seen in the past. Luke might have a little more knowledge of all this too, or it could be something you've seen this year, but current or past best SWBL rivalry in your opinion that you've seen?
Last year, Brewers and Expos was pretty good.
Yep. I'm going to go with Twins Rockies.
Twins Rockies. And, Brewers Expos has definitely been a popular one for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Who will be the 2021 SWBL home run leader?
Ed Lowe.
Wow, he will be happy to hear that.
I'm going to probably go with Gus.
It's been another popular answer. Who will have the lowest ERA in season 19?
Jimmy.
Jackson.
Ooh, Jackson making a bounce back year. I like that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to be the Marlins team MVP in 2021?
Sam.
Nice. If you could trade for any player in the SWBL to join the Marlins, who would it be?
Jackson.
I'm gonna go with you, Sam.
Whoa! All right.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun. I would like that. All right. Draft any non-baseball professional athlete. Who would it be? Non-baseball professional athlete to your team.
LeBron.
Of course. I'm probably gonna go with Bryson DeChambeau. The guy can swing.
All right. And will we have an 0-10 team this year?
No,
definitely not. Maybe the Brewers, but
in your 2021 SWBL champion, who's your pick?
Rockies.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the Rockies as well.
Wow, I love those picks. I don't think anybody's picked the Rockies right now. And, they're floating, as that kind of bubble playoff team right now for the Rockies. And they are getting full strength back from their original 2015 championship with Grant Boyd coming back. So an exciting pick there. I know, first of all, thanks to Andy's Frozen Custard again. And guys, thanks for doing the rapid fire round. And I thank you guys for being here with me tonight. And we're excited that these captain interviews have been wrapped up. This is our last one. And I know you guys said this earlier, and you will have, in my opinion, one of the best followings of any team. You guys have this age bracket that is your own. You guys we're all friends. You have so many other people that you are, friends with that you're excited to be a part of this. And I know with all of the COVID things and, the pool and the porta potties not being there again this year, we have a little bit of restriction just until we can kind of get over this hump. And I know everybody's been so understanding of that. And obviously we are very hopeful that season 20 is going to be back and better than ever. And my hope is that 2 seasons of just kind of this lull is going to, this pent up energy in season 20 is just going to be this amazing experience for everybody. And, I am excited to see what you guys can bring to the table for season 20, but are you excited for your following to be there in all of this glory, if the world gets a handle on COVID? So like Luke, talk about more. I know Eli mentioned it a little bit too with, guys hopefully get new jerseys and your following can be there, but what does it mean to like your backing, your following, your spouses, your families, the people who want to be there to support you? Is there any insight to what you can give the viewers and what we can expect from the Marlins, not just in season 19, but, coming up in season 20, big year?
I mean, well, I like to think that all the teams were so good last year, especially the Expos and the Brewers, because there's a lot less drinking going on. So there, players are a lot more fresh. But I tell these guys all the time, I'm like, just wait until it's the real SWBL weekend. It's just like you can't have a bad time. If you're losing, you can't have a bad time, and then you're having a good time anyway, and you go out and you win, right?
Yeah.
I just think having our girlfriends, wives, friends, at the games, just going to make us, a lot more hungry to win games. So we'll, maybe have a little bit of a taste of that this year, but in 2020, a lot of people are going to be saying, a lot of different things about us that year. So,
and Eli, we're just excited that the players can be there the entire time this year. That's one thing that we're really focused on, is making sure that the players can enjoy the weekend together and be there. And also this, the +1 rule. So like Annie can be there for, the season with you, because it's just a burden on families to travel together and then make them not be with you. So, are you excited to have, Annie be a part of it, and also for you and your team to experience the entire weekend, can be there? I know you won't be able to be at the pool yet, but just having all of your guys there to kind of observe. Even, do you think it's important that your guys are there for the entire 55 game season that we got going on?
Yeah, no, we're definitely excited for that. I mean, kind of like Luke mentioned, we'd lose a game and we'd like have to leave, right?
Yeah.
Like now we can stay around, hang out with people. I know Annie's really excited this year that she can hang out all weekend, but she's got big plans for next year when all the girls can be there for the whole weekend. I won't spoil any of her extravagant ideas. Yeah.
But you guys are going for franchise of the year again, especially season 20, right?
Every year.
Every year. I like it. You're going to be the new Brewers for sure. But guys, I am super excited for your team. I am excited to see where this team can go in the future. Season 20 is going to be exciting, yes, but we got work to do still in season 19, and everybody's excited to see what the Marlins can do. We're going to have a lot of live stream games still, so your fan base can still follow, and everybody come out and support the SWBL and the Marlins on our Instagram and our Twitter and our Facebook. Give us a follow, and you can get all of the links to the games on those and any of your Marlins, your favorite highlights from all your Marlins games coming at you too on those social media platforms. And I want to thank all of our sponsors again, all of our division sponsors. I want to thank Logix again for being our media sponsor. And we want to have STL Cycle Saloon, our playoff sponsor, going to be back at it again. Andy's Frozen Custard, and of course, Breck Chill Designs and Spencer Gear too. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Is there anything else, Eli, you want to tell the people out there before we get going?
We're ready.
Ready. And Luke, last thing to say to the people, what do you got?
Man, I just want to say we're incredibly grateful to just be invited back, but anybody can talk as much smack as they want. We're just going to let our bats do the talking.
You heard it here first, folks. The Marlins are not going 0-10. Here we go. It's going to be a great season 19. All these captain interviews are done. I wipe my hands clean of them. It's all up to what happens at the Blur in season 19. We'll see you Memorial Day, but before that, make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to announce it here on Thursday, May 27th, will be the showing of our first fully produced game with Game 1 is what we're titling it. And that's going to be the Brewers versus the Expos in a rematch of last year's championship. It is going to be an exciting addition to the SWBL weekend. It is going to be a fully produced with multiple camera angles. It's going to have breakdown with announcers. It's going to have replay. It's going to have everything you can hopefully look for in a real full produced game like you would watch Major League Baseball. We're excited to try our hand at it at least, and that'll be released on Thursday, May 27th, the day before opening day in the evening for everybody to watch what happens for Game 1 of SWBL Season 19. Eli, Luke, thanks for joining me. I'm Commissioner Sam Skibbe, and we will see you guys at the Blur on Memorial Day. See ya.